Hi, today we're going to do lesson 1-7, that's find perimeter, circumference, and area. The big question here is how do you find the area and perimeter of a figure? So if you look at your dimensions of polygons frame, this is about knowing the formulas for perimeter, area, and circumference. And these are all formulas that you should already know. So complete this frame with me, and in the left-hand column, in this box, all the way across, we're going to put the pictures. And this, we're going to put sides. Here, we'll be putting perimeter or circumference. And then the last one, we'll be doing area. And the first main idea that we'll be working with is squares. So for squares, a picture will look like this. We'll have right angles at all four corners, and being a square means all of these sides are the same. For the sides, we're going to use S, and that represents our side length. So I'm going to put an S here, and all the sides have length of S. Our perimeter is where you add up all the sides, so my perimeter for a square is 4 times S. That's the same as S plus S plus S plus S. My area is S squared for a square. The next shape is rectangles, and a picture of a rectangle will look like this. We're going to have 4 right angles. These two sides are going to be congruent, and these two sides are congruent. So we'll label this with an L for length and this with a W for width. So our sides, we're going to have the length, and that's L, in the width, and that's a W. For perimeter you do 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And for the area of a rectangle, you just do length times width. Our next main idea is triangles. So I'm going to draw a triangle here. I'm going to label this with an A, this with a C, and this with a B. And then coming up from my B, or my base here, I'm going to put a line going to the opposite vertice, and that's going to need to be at a right angle in order for that to be my height. So for a square, I have side lengths A, B, and C. I have my base, B, and my height, H. So to find the perimeter of a triangle, you're going to do A plus B plus C. So the sum of the 3 sides. Your area for a triangle is 1/2 base times height, or you might use base times height divided by 2. The last main idea here is circles. We all know a circle looks like this. All the way across is the diameter, and then coming just halfway across is our radius. So we have our diameter, D, and our radius, R. For a circle, we do circumference. And circumference of a circle is pi times diameter, or you might remember 2 pi times the radius. Your area for a circle is pi times your radius squared. Our so what here is that we need to know and be able to use these, these formulas in geometry. We'll be using these all year, so you need to be able to use these formulas. So let's now go ahead and look at your notes for this lesson. Example 1 says find the perimeter and area of a rectangle. So right away, we're talking about a rectangle. We're going to be looking at the perimeter and the area. What I suggest you do when you're doing these problems is look back at your frame, figure out what shape you're using. We're using a rectangle. And then the perimeter is here, so our perimeter for a rectangle is here. The area is here, so our area for a rectangle is here. So look at what shape you're using and then identify the formulas that you will be using as well. So let's go ahead and write those formulas down. My perimeter is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. My area is length times width. So tennis, the inbounds portion of a singles tennis court is shown. Find its perimeter and area. So looking at our picture here, this is our length, this is our width. So let's just plug them into our formulas. So the perimeter equals 2 times 78 plus 2 times 27. Your area is 78 times 27. And these are both feet. Okay, and this one's feet as well. So your perimeter, if you simplify and put that into your calculator, your perimeter is 210 feet. Feet plus feet just stays feet. Here we have 78 times 27, so our area is 2,106, and we have feet times feet, so that's feet squared. Let's look at the next example problem. Now this is the same as the first one, so what I would like you to do is pause this video, go through and do this problem, and then come back and check it. Welcome back. You should have found for the perimeter 228 feet and for the area 2,808 feet squared. If you did not get those, this is a problem that you should be asking in class tomorrow. Example 2. Find the circumference and area of a circle. So right now we know circumference and area of a circle. So look on your frame. If you look at a circle, for circumference we have pi times diameter or 2 pi times your radius. For area, we have pi times our radius squared. So it says the smallest circle on an Olympic target is 12 centimeters in diameter. So if I draw a circle, my diameter is all the way across, so that's 12. That would make my radius halfway across be 6, since 12 divided by 2 is 6. Find the approximate circumference and area of the small circle. Now it says approximate, so it's okay to round these values. So here my circumference equals pi times, you can use the diameter, or you could use this formula. I'm just going to use my diameter. And if you put it into your calculator, pi times your diameter, you'll get circumference is 37.7 centimeters. Here, my area equals pi, and you have to use the radius here, so times 6 squared. If you put this in your calculator, you have area equals 113.1, and it's going to be centimeters squared. So look at this next problem. Go through and try this one on your own first. Pause the video and try to get this answer. Welcome back. You should have found your area for this problem is 201.1 meters squared, and your circumference is 50.3 meters. If you did not get those values, this is a question that you should ask in class. We're going to skip this problem. We're also going to skip this one. Solve a multi-step problem. Lawn care. You're using a roller to smooth a lawn. You can roll about 125 square yards in 1 minute. So we've got a rate there. We've got 125 square yards per 1 minute. About how many minutes does it take to roll a lawn that is 120 feet long and 75 feet wide? So I'm going to draw a picture here. I've got 75 feet down here and 120 feet right here. Now one thing I notice is I've got feet as these units and yards over here. So we need to make sure our units are the same before we do our work here. So I know that 1 yard equals 3 feet. So I'm just going to divide this by 3. That'll give me 40 yards here. And if I divide this by 3, I get 25 feet here. So, whoops, 25, not feet, yards. So now I know I'm going to have the same units. I'm going to use 40 yards here, and I'm going to use 25 yards here. We need to know the area of this before we can figure out how long it'll take us to mow this. So area for a rectangle is length times width. So my area is 40 times 25. So my area here for this problem is 1,000, and that's yards squared. Now let's figure out how long it'll take us. So I've got 1,000 yards squared, and I know that I can do 125 yards per 1 minute. And since this is a 1, I can just leave it here. So 1,000 divided by 125, that's 8. These yards will cancel, and I'll have minutes left over. So it'll take me 8 minutes to mow the lawn. All right, let's stop here, and you have a good day.